Now I call upon Anaga Baiju from 3rd BCA for deliver the welcome address.
I take this opportunity to welcome today's chief guest, Mr. Vignesh Manivasagan, an expert in agile methodology for this webinar today. He has completed MCA from Anna University, Chennai. He has 4 years of experience as a system engineer in Tata Consultancy Services and 2 years of experience in Cognizant, and currently working as a technology lead in Infosys Mysore. It is an honor and a privilege for us, sir, to have you with us today. I also welcome Dr. Ajit Kumar Lalmohan, Secretary, AJK College of Arts and Science, Dr. B. Sadish Kumar, Principal, AJK College of Arts and Science, Mr. A. Kamal Raj, Coordinator, CNIT, Dr. P. Pradibha, Dean Computer Science, teachers and my dear friends. Today, we have gathered here for the webinar arranged for BC and IT students on Agile methodology. I'm sure we will be enriched by the webinar, and once again, I welcome all of you for this function today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm proud to say that I'm a student of Pradibha ma'am. I always admire her qualities. And thanks, Kamal. So today's session is about Agile methodology. We use this methodology in software development. The basic description for Agile methodology is Agile is a software development methodology to build a software incrementally using short iterations so that the development process is aligned with the changing business needs. So using this model, we build the software incrementally, meaning the fundamental software will be there, and we will develop the software feature by feature. We will keep on adding the features to the basic, the fundamental working model over a short iterations. Here, iteration means a short span of time. It normally spans between 2 to 4 weeks. So over 2 to 4 weeks of time, we will tend to deliver a new product with the different versions. Say, for example, if we are starting from version 6, then minor version would be released after that. It might go as 6.1, 6.2, and so on, or it may go as a major versions like 7, 8, and so on. And agile methodology includes clients effectively in project. They can see the project progress from the very beginning to the end. Agile ensures that we will have a much interactions with the clients and the business teams as much as possible. So that rather than the waterfall model, the product and its growth will be visible to everyone in the project. Agile is a process by which a team can manage a project by breaking it up into several stages and involving constant collaboration with the stakeholders and continuous improvement and iteration at every stage. Yeah, as I said before, we will have a better communication with everyone in the project, right from the stakeholders, business analysts, and the product owner. Everyone will be there to help us, or we will have a communications on a daily basis. Continuous collaboration is the key, both among team members and with the project stakeholders to make fully informed decisions. When we use the waterfall model, there are stages like requirement gathering section. That is the first stage, so that we will sit together with the client and the business people, and we will get all the details from them. For example, if we are building any website like Amazon, so we'll get all the details from the client. Everything will be documented over the Word document, or it will get recorded. So that will be the input. After the once the requirement is gathered, then we will start to prepare the design documents like high level designs, low level designs, and the sequence diagrams, flow diagrams, class level changes, ER diagrams. Everything will be prepared in the analysis and the design phase. Once analysis and the design is completed, then we will start to implement over a code. We will choose the language to implement that part, because we can develop that part in using any language, right? We can use Java, PHP, or .NET. We can use any language. So first we will check the feasibility of the softwares, like which one is open source. Then we might go with that approach, with that language, or we might go with any other languages. So the feasibilities will be checked, and we'll start doing coding. After that, we'll do couple of test case documents will be prepared prior. So following the test case documents, we will start to test the applications over different test cases. Once testing is completed, then only we will present the developed project to the customer. So normally it may take six months or one year, like that. So the client will come to know about the product at the end of 6 months. So there is a high chance that we might surprise the customer in a negative way when we go with the waterfall model, because there is no much customer interaction. Only at the beginning of the project you had a interaction with the client. So there is a high chance that our developed product might deviate from the requirement. So to overcome all the drawbacks of waterfall model, agile methodology evolved. So we will see the stages in the agile projects. So first one, as it is in the waterfall model, define the initial requirements. So these initial requirements will be done by the business analyst. They will gather all the requirements and the inputs from the client, and they will prepare a detailed document that is called the requirement document or user stories. So these user stories will be prepared by the business analyst. That is the first phase, define initial requirements, and then prepare high level use cases. So in this phase, all the developers and the business analysts will sit together to discuss about the requirement, and they will come up with the use cases. So they will identify the different stakeholders of this particular application or the particular product. So they will have a list of people and how the use cases involves, like through which are the stages the user might contact the application. So everything will be discussed, and it will be use case document will be prepared in this model. After that, high level plan. So in this plan, they will developers will have some high level idea about how that particular module can be developed. Say for example, if you take an Amazon website, there is a column to add a particular product by the seller. So to implement that part, so what are the databases and what are the tables will get involved. So what are the modules are in the Amazon website? Like if you take the users, there are three kinds of users, like admin, seller, and the customers. So first, the authorization and authentication part should be implemented. If it is a new product, then there should be a privilege to add a particular product. As a seller, if I want to sell something, I should have a privilege to add that product into the website. So that module should be implemented. So let us call it as a create product, and next module is the search product. So this is for everyone. Particularly for our customers. So if they want to search any product, they should be able to reach this module, and add to cart module should be there, and after that there should be a privilege to place an order. So these are the modules should be implemented as part of this Amazon website. So build and unit test. Let us take this creating a product module. So if you want to create a product, the simple design should be like, there should be a product table that should have the product ID, product name, and the product description, and the image of that product should be there in the table, and the seller ID. So to implement this part, having this table idea, you should have an UI to add this module, to add a product name and the description, and you should have a privilege to choose an image of that particular product. So if you're taking Java, so using that you will implement that part. So that is called build. Build means using any programming language implementing a particular concept is called build. And unit testing. Unit testing is nothing but testing your the implemented code using some code chunks is called unit test. Meaning, um, I hope you all clear about what is build and unit testing. Build is actual solution that is you're implementing through the code is called the build. Unit test is the code you write to test the code you used to implement that part. Say for example, if you have written a method called add to give the addition of two inputs, then writing some other code to test that particular block is called the unit testing. So in this example, I told about the how this multiply method is tested using unit testing. We had the so asset equals that checks whether the expected output and the actual output is same or not. We use this method. This third parameter is an optional one. Then comes the system testing. So system testing is nothing but the developer code should be deployed in any environment, and that environment will be shared to the testing team. So they will do this system testing. So testing people will have the test document and test case documents. So they will have a list of test cases to be executed once this module is implementation is done. They will test each test cases. If everything is passed, then they will give the test document to the business people. So system testing is the testing done by the testing team, and comes the user evaluation. So user evaluation is also a testing is done by the business people. They will check whether the implemented part is rely with the requirements. If that part is implemented, then the product might good feel. I mean, it would look good. That product might look good. So if they find that any changes, then that change should be updated in the use case document. It should be updated in the requirement document. So here the developer should not take any change just like that. So everything should be documented in a proper way. Like if the business people want some image or the background color to be modified in the product, then that should be recorded in a proper way in the document. Then only the developer should take that point and they should start implementing the changes. So if any change is required, then the change should be documented. So that is called refine requirement or use case. Once that refining part is done, then this process like build and unit test, system testing, all this process should happen again. After that final system test, this testing will happen in the production environment. So we have different environments. I'll talk about that later. Like developer environment, QA environment, pre-production, production, like that we have different environments. So this final system testing will happen in the production environment. So if everything is done, then the product will be released. So these are the stages in the Agile method. And 12 principles of Agile Manifesto. So these are the 12 principles. Like first one is our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through yearly and continuous delivery of valuable software. So yearly and continuous delivery means it is not like a waterfall model. We will not release the product at the end of 6 months or 1 year or 2 years like that. We will release the product periodically in a short span, like 2 weeks once or monthly once. We will release a new product. So we are giving the yearly delivery to the customers. Second, welcome changing requirements. Even late in development, Agile process harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. When we were using the waterfall models, we will not take any change from the customers that much easily, because it will take much time to update in all the places, because it is a teamwork, right? Different people will be working on different modules, so even a small change will have a big impact. So when we were using waterfall models, we will not take even a small change. But in Agile, we will always welcome any changes from the clients. Since it is a 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks delivery model, we can take that model and implement in the current sprint, or we can implement that in the next sprint. Everything will be communicated to them. Third is deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with preference to the shorter time scale. This one I already told. Fourth one, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. In Agile, we will have a daily stand-up meeting with the customers and business people. Fifth point, build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. Here is no that manager and the personal concepts. You will work as an individual. You will report to the business people directly. There will not be any people to monitor you, but you will give the daily updates. So you are the motivated individuals. Nobody will be there to motivate you. You will take the sole responsibility. So that is what this fifth point is talking about. Sixth one, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. Yes, here all the conversation will happen in a face-to-face conversation manner. It doesn't mean that in-person communication. We will have a Skype meeting daily. How we are running this meeting, no? So like that, we will have a meeting on a daily basis. Seventh one, working software is the primary measure of progress. If you are assigned some task, because of that task, the software should not go down. The software should be in the working condition all the time. So it focuses on that part particularly. So working software is the primary measure of progress. Even because of your change, if the software is not behaving correctly, then you need to revert your changes. Eighth one, agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. Yes, we always concentrate on the working software. So the development work will be as a sustainable one. The software will not go down at any point of time. And continuous attention to the technical excellence and good design enhances agility. Since the design is good, we will be able to deliver the quality software. We will always plan for the design here. So since there is a much concentration on the design, the quality of the software will be really high. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work. Since you are not dependent upon any person, over a period of time you will have a good knowledge on the application. Since you have a good knowledge, that will lead the best architectures, requirement, and designs. That is what this self-organizing team is all about. At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. At the end of every sprint, we will have a call. So in that call, we will discuss about what went really good and what didn't go good, what needs to be changed. So all the feedbacks from the everyone in the team, right from the developer, business analyst, will be considered, and the plan will be changed accordingly. So this tunes and adjusts happens at the end of every sprint. Key agile methodologies. So there are so many methodologies, like nearly 9 or 10 methodologies are there so far, but we are primarily concentrating on these 3 methodologies. That is Scrum, Extreme Programming, and Kanban. We will see them one by one. Okay, let us see what is Scrum in the next slide. Scrum methodology. So these 3 methodologies are implementing the Agile. First one is the Scrum. Agile software development methodologies are iterative, meaning the work is divided into iterations which are called sprints in case of Scrum. Scrum is executed by small teams of between 7 to 9 people, including the Scrum Master and the product owner. So in Scrum, there are different peoples. They have unique names. First one is the product owner, who is responsible for the for that particular product. Here, product means you can assume any module. So some person who is responsible for the sales that is happening in the Amazon website. So we can call him as a product owner. And the Scrum Master. Scrum Master is the one who act as a bridge between the developers, business analyst, and developers and the client. Each one plays a different roles. I'll list it out one by one. And we have the developers. Normally, the team size would be 7 to 9 people. 7 to 9 developers will be working together, and we might also have a testing team. So developer team will be there, testing team will be there, business analyst will be there, and the product owner and the Scrum Master will be there. So this 5 group of people will be there in the Scrum. And the time span I told right before, that 2 to 4 weeks time span. So that time span is called a sprint in the Scrum. So we will tell us it is a 2-week sprint or 3-week sprint, like that. If you come to see any 2 people working in the Agile, first question they will ask between them is the are you working in the 2-week sprint or 3-week sprint? The architecture is like this. There's a concept called backlog. Backlog means that is the place where all the pending works will be kept as a document. So people will pick task one by one from the backlog. I'll take this website as an example. For example, in this website, if I want to change the background color of this website, that is one task. And if I have a plan to give a Java ID that I'm feeling that it should have a privilege to execute a code, so that is one feature. So having all these concepts in mind, as a business user, I would list out all the features in the backlog place as different documents. So in each document, I'll explain about the feature to be introduced. Even in Amazon website, during the year end, they will introduce some offers, right? So that kind of things will be kept in the backlog folder. So from backlog folder, this task will be prioritized, because changing the color and the look and feel will not give any impact to the business. But giving offers in the festival time will have a big impact. So the most priorities to one will be the implementing the offer part during the festival times. So from the backlog, stories will be taken, and some priority number will be given to them, like low priority, high priority, medium priority stories would be labeled. Then the high priority stories would be taken to the iteration. Here it is called as sprint. So in the sprint 1, I might take tasks like tasks A, B, C based on their priority, and this 7 to 9 people will start implementing that, and testing will happen. And if they have any doubts, then that will get rectified then and there over the daily stand-up calls. If there is any blocker, that will get resolved by the Scrum Master. Then at last, that particular story will move to the production. So that is how this flow executes in Scrum methodology. The Scrum method is characterized by specific ceremonies such as daily stand-up meeting. We will have a daily 15 to 30 minute stand-up meeting. So in that meeting, everyone will give their updates. As a developer, you have to give some updates like in which part you are working, and so far what are the implementation till when till what you have implemented, and is there any blockers. So everything will be discussed in the stand-up meeting. In case if you have a blocker, for example, blocker means impediments. Say for example, there are four developers are working together um, in a team. Person one is his work is dependent on person four's uh, code completion. He was about to complete that code by 25th, and you have planned to implement your part from 26th, but since that person 4 has not completed his work on time, your work is getting delayed. So that is one blocker. So you can communicate that part to the scrum master. He will take action accordingly, means he will not uh, um, he might give assign some other task, or he may assign that task to some experts. So that kind of things will happen in this meeting. And sprint review meeting. So in this meeting, the scrum master will decide what are the stories to be taken to the production. If some story implementation is giving some errors, then that story will be postponed to the next sprint. Demo to the product owner. So once if everything is working fine, if you have implemented four user stories, everything is working fine, and system testing is completed, and user business owner testing is completed, then that part, the demo will be showcased to the product owner. For example, if you have implemented the festival offer thing in Amazon website, then that part in the pre-production environment will be the demo will be given to the product owner. See, this is how the application will work. Like we are displaying the offer information in the home page, and when the user buys something which is more than 10,000, they will get this offer. When the user buys something below 5,000, they might get this much of offer, like that. Yeah, live demo will be given to the product owner. So if he is satisfied with the implementation, then that part will be moved to the production. So at the end of every sprint, at the end of 2 weeks, we will have a sprint retrospective meeting. So in this sprint retrospective meeting, everyone in the team will involve in this meeting, and they will give their feedback. Like if as a developer, if you felt that you are given much tasks, and that because of that you are not able to complete that some particular task on time, you can give your feedback to the sprint owner. So he will take the action accordingly. Like he might reduce assigning less stories in the subsequent sprints. So that kind of action will be taken by the Scrum Master. He is the owner of this entire process. So this diagram depicts that in the backlog we have a list of stories that is to be developed. It has a priority also. See, you can see 10 hours, high, medium, low priority task. So the high priority task will be considered to the sprint. So if you have started implementing that part, then it will move to the to-do column, and it will move on to the in progress completed stages. Once testing is completed, then it will move to the done state. Then it will get released. So this is how the planning works in the Scrum. So we mostly use this software Jira. So Jira software, where it is an UA, it makes our task easier. Like you will have a unified UI to see all the pending tasks in the backlog. Also, you can see this only my issues, right? So using this tab, you can see the list of stories assigned to you. You also will be able to see others stories as well. Also, it gives the privilege like Jira query language, like how you're using SQL, so we can use Jira query language to get some details. If you want to get any reports using that query language, you can generate that report. So Jira software will be using if you happen to work in a agile project. Kanban method. So Kanban is the another methodology. So here the 2 to 3 sprint cycle became too long to wait for many business contexts. The changes occurred in the organization structure and the project management planning processes put too much strain on organizations, and many teams found themselves not meeting even sprint level commitments of scope and quality. For most organizations, implementing these methods become very disruptive. Be- some organizations feels that this 2 to 3 week sprint is also not good uh, because in this challenging market to sustain, they need an immediate deployments. They cannot work for 2 to 3 weeks. So for that kind of project, this Kanban method will suit. The goal of Kanban is to identify the potential bottlenecks in your processes and fix them. So what can flow through it cost effectively at an optimal speed or throughput. Kanban is defined as highly effective and efficient production system. The origin of Kanban methodology lies in the just-in-time production. Um, so in Kanban, we will not follow this 2 to 3 weeks sprint and so on. If you have fixed any bug or if you have fixed any new task, then and there we will deploy that work to the production. You no need to work for 2 weeks. So this Kanban is suitable for the projects like if they're getting any frequent bugs from the users. Normally, if you find any website is not working or if any of your bank application is not working, then you will raise a ticket, right? So that will be taken into consideration in this Kanban method. So and also each time if you're getting different errors, then different errors, then if your project if high priority is used if you're getting, then you can go with the Kanban method. So Kanban method is best fit when you get different bugs each time. You cannot categorize bugs, so in that case you can go with the Kanban method. Also, if your project requires some immediate fix, so that time we will go with it. Also, it is like when you're working in Scrum, if you're it is a 2 weeks or 3 weeks sprint, right? So if you're assigned one task, then you will not be asked to work on this some other task. But in Kanban, if you're working on any medium priority issue and if you get any high priority issue meanwhile, then you will put the current task on hold and you will concentrate on the high priority task. See, here is no backlog. So whenever a new bug or error comes, means then that will be moved to the stories part. Then you will start working on that. So that will come to the to-do column, and that the priority stories will come to the to-do column. If you started working in the stories, then that will come to the in progress column. So when you're working on some story that is low prioritized, then suddenly for any high priority issue come means, then you will move that current story to the on hold and you will take the high priority issue and you will start working on it. Then once it is completed, then you will move that story to the testing team. Once testing is done, then it will move to the done state. So this is how Kanban board works. You got the difference between the Kanban and Agile. Then comes the extreme programming. So this Agile methodology focuses on enhancing interpersonal relationships as a key to success in software development. Extreme programming also focuses on promoting teamwork, caring for the learning of developers, and fostering a good working environment. It is categorized by developers working in pairs, where one developer program while the other developer observes, and they switch roles these roles on regular basis throughout the sprint. I think this methodology most of the people will love to work. Here, this extreme programming is also called as pair programming or peer programming. When some difficult situation comes, means instead of working alone, you will be given a privilege to work as a team. Like two programmers will be working together on a single machine. So it goes like this. You will have a plan already for implementation. So when one programmer doing that implementation over a code, other will validate his coding. So then and there, if the other programmer finds something is not good, then it will get rectified then and there. So you will be able to produce some quality code to the client. Normally, this extreme programming we work along with the Agile. Agile would come up with the extreme programming as well. Sometimes, Scrum. So when you're working in Scrum, sometime if the task is tedious, you'll be allowed to do this implementation. Like you can work as a team. You can do this peer programming. You both can sit in one system, and once that till that issue is fixed. Once that issue is fixed, then you will go to your system and you will start implement other tasks given. So extreme programming, after taking the story, planning would happen. After planning, design. So here two programmers will sit together. One will do the actual coding. The other guy will monitor his coding, and if he finds out any issues or any logic mistakes, then both will communicate between them, and if it needed, they might bring this situation or problem to the business analyst. Then they will come up with a new solution. Then again coding and testing. Once testing is successful, it will be moved to the production environment. Okay. Advantages of Agile methodology. No detailed requirement needed. Yes, no detail. If you have some rough idea about about the product, then you can go with this approach. Because if it is like, if you after getting the complete requirement, then only you have to start work, means it will take much time. Before that, some other product, similar product might come into the market. So bringing the product to the market as soon as possible is the key to the success from the client perspective. So using this Agile methodology, you can start your work through the some rough idea. Later on, you can add some features. Yearly benefits to the user or business. Yes, following this approach, we bring the software to the market as early as possible. So yearly benefit to the user and the business. Face-to-face communication. Daily we have a Scrum meeting. So all the details about the progress about the product will be communicated to everyone. Less time to market. Yes, less cost to the customer. There is a study that says that when we are using waterfall model, it took nearly 2 years to implement a particular task. But when they go with the Agile model, it took roughly 6 months. So it is definitely less cost to the customer. High quality, because we are following so many methods, like we have a lot of code quality checks because of that, and we also have a peer programming. So it all ensures that we give the high quality software to the customers. Disadvantages: smaller planning horizon. In Agile, we will not give much preference to the planning. Normally, in waterfall model, planning will happen for some days. Here, we will plan and we will start implementation. So it happens just like that. We will not spend much time. Lesser design and documentation. Documentation is less in Agile. We will not prepare all low-level design documents, high-level design documents, and sequence diagram for each and everything. We will not put all up. So documentation is lesser. So if any new programmer comes to our team means, then the complete knowledge transfer should happen through that senior developer. So there will not be much documentation in these agile projects. Need a clear customer vision. Of course, if the customer is not having a clear vision means, then everything will go away, because they're the one who are giving the inputs, right? If they have the problem in the inputs, then definitely we'll be developing some wrong softwares. So the customer or the product owner should be clear about his vision. Necessity of experienced and senior resources. Yes, because we are giving estimates for each and every story. So giving the correct timeline for each story is necessary. So only the senior resources can give these inputs. So the project will work like this. There will be a senior resource. Under him or her, there will be 2 or 3 junior resources. Until they get trained in this agile methodology, they will work as a shadow resources. Means they will not build from the client. Only the senior resource will be built for the task he is doing. Once these junior resources are getting experienced in the agile model, then they will act as a senior resource. Technology stacks. We have a lot of technologies, like I think most of you are familiar with the GitHub. So that is the place we manage the code. It is a centralized repository for code, so that the code will be available to everyone, and you can maintain some manageable code. We saw about the Jira. Jira is the place where all the stories will be kept, and all the tasks are tracked using this Jira software. Jenkins, it is a long topic. It is used to do a build and deployments. Meaning, if you're deploying any software to the server, if you're moving any software to the server, through Jenkins we'll do that. It is called as deployments, meaning you will move any WAR file, WebArchive file to the particular server. Say for example, Tomcat or WebSphere. So it is done by the Jenkins. It also does a lot of automated works, like building a code and moving, doing a deployment, and doing the code check and so on. We also saw about the JUnits. We will not use all these softwares. For example, see under build we have these softwares like Maven and Gradle. So also we have one more software like Ant. Normally we are using Maven. For code we have 2 or more repositories, like we have a SVN, Git. We might use any one. In my project we are using Git. For unit testing, we have so many frameworks like NUnit, Selenium, but primarily we are using JUnits. So I have listed out all the options, but we'll be using any one of the software. It is better if you are familiar with Maven, Git, Jira, Jenkins, and JUnits. These are the softwares that are widely used.
Abiding by the law of nature that every good happening comes to an end, and this episode is drawing down its curtain. First of all, I thank our chief guest, Mr. Vignesh Manivasagam, sir, for sharing his wonderful experience with us. It was a great privilege to learn from you, sir. Thank you. Next, I thank our respectful sector principal, sir. Then, I thank our respectful DMAT, CAS, for this wonderful webinar. Last but not least, I thank all my friends and colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.